You do it all without breaking a sweat. Like being a boss exec to Tuesday tennis to homework. Why do the kids have so much homework? Family dinners, lunches, brunches, trips to the vet, and a weekend getaway that's anything but a getaway. And you do it all in style. Even when you have back-to-back conference calls on top of the kids' orchestra recitals, not to mention your side hustle. That's why we created the fully reimagined Infiniti QX60. A luxury SUV as functional as it is stylish, and as versatile as it is serene. With premium features like a panoramic moonroof, ample cargo space, and available massaging front seats to bring the ease of luxury to your everyday. Introducing the all-new Infiniti QX60, designed to help you take on life and all the chaos it may come with, in style. Learn more at InfinityUSA.com. Now with extremely limited availability, contact your local retailer for inventory information.
Hola, and welcome to episode 74 of Word to Your Mama. Word to Your Mama is a podcast about the life of a Latinx mama. That is me, and the lives of my amazing multicultural tribe. It's a celebration of shared experiences navigating this dynamic world. There are special guests, mad laughs, and absolutely no BS. Nah, B is our motto. Segments by the Supernatural Bear. That's my little man. He's 9 going on 49. But other than that, this podcast will be explicit. Please believe it. Today, we have the honor of having Ozzie and Tameron from the Hola Metaverso team here to give a little insight, the root, how it got started, how we all came together. And it's an amazing story. So Hola Metaverso is an in real life and virtual community building event, and it's taking place in Los Angeles at Avenida Studios on April 30th. Now, the mission is to create educational experiences to strengthen connections with individuals, teams, and Web3 communities across the United States and Latin America. This is the first of hopefully many events. It will be bilingual. And this first event, the capacity is only 250 because it's really about a quality building event, a community building event. So before we get into it, I'm part of the crew. I'm part of the team to help bring Ozzie's vision to life. The story happened quick, fast, kids. It happened quick, fast. So if you've been listening to this, if you know my story, daughter of immigrants, came up to LA, went to college. My mom passed away when I was super young, when I was still in college. Then first in my family to graduate. Then music industry, left the music industry, still had music industry clients, was in marketing, and then started my own thing, Ritzy Periwinkle. Accidentally became an exhibiting artist, traveled the world, parts of the world. Also accidentally became a designer vinyl toy artist. So, had signings and stuff at Comic-Con and D-Con. I mean, like, the non-linear career path, I talk about it with my friends and my amazing tribe, the guests that I have on here, because I've had it the same thing, right? So the pandemic happens. I start Word to Your Mama podcast, and the only thing I knew about Web3 was NFTs. Like, that's a lot of people's first introduction to Web3, NFTs. And the reason why I knew about it is because, some artist friends that are family, Sket One and Tristan Eaton, they came out with their NFTs and killed it. And we were like, what? I was like, what is that? So I kind of, started to kind of little bit grasp it. I understand it way better now, but at the time I didn't understand. And then I was listening to an episode of Tim Ferriss's podcast. And on that episode, he had Chris Dixon and Naval Ravikant, and it's called The Wonders of Web3, How to Pick the Right Hill to Climb, Finding the Right Amount of Crypto Regulations, Friends with Benefits, and the Untapped Potential of NFTs. It's a long-ass episode. It's like 2.5 hours or something like that. But I heard it in spurts, and I was like, I want to learn more. It's exciting. But I also want to know, before I jump in on the bandwagon of like, oh, I'm an artist, so let me do some NFTs. I wanted to kind of, I learned by knowing the system, right? Knowing how it works. Any environment I'm in, any place I've ever worked, any situation I've been in, I look at the system because I want to know how I can be better because I know I'm a part of that system. So this was a lot of unknowns. So I was like, let me listen to this episode. And I listened to the episode, and when I got towards the end, and Tim started talking about, they go through the history of like the difference, like how Web 1 started, how Web 2, that's what we're in now, and then how, the beginnings of Web 3 and the potentials and the issues and things like that. But then when Tim started talking about DAOs, which stands for the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but he started talking about it. When I heard how he was excited about it, and then I was listening how they kind of worked, he kind of like broke it down. I was thinking to myself, this could really change people's lives. And I'm talking about it could really be beneficial to marginalized communities in a way that nonprofits, if I understand it correctly, to me, I saw it as that it could potentially change things in a way that nonprofits in right now in our world can't. They try to, but they can't. And so I was super excited about it. And I was like, as always, why aren't our people knowing about this, right? Like, we need more Black and brown and marginalized folks to know about this, that this exists so that we don't get left in the dust. Fast forward, I'm on Twitter. I see that Twitter Spaces is happening. Clubhouse, I can't stand it. But then I see someone, a previous guest on here, Rolando, and he's an activist and one of the leaders of Boyle Heights Bridge Runners, and good people, quality people. And I saw he was in this space, and it was Big Brown Dad's space. And you'll hear about, we mentioned him in the episode. And I didn't know anyone but my homeboy, my fam, Rolando. So I go in there, and Big Brown Dad is really good about bringing everyone up on stage, so on stage, meaning that they can speak, they could be a speaker and kind of just talk about different things. So this was like heavy on my mind. Maybe someone mentioned something about Web3, and I was just mentioning how I listened to this episode, and I was like, who are the Chris Dixons and the Naval Revalcant, I'm messing up his name, of the Latino world, of the Latinx world, Latina world. And I was like, who is that? And then that was the inception of meeting at that same Twitter space. It was Tameron was up in there, Ozzie, the creator of Metaverso, Chaco, they are curating the NFT gallery portion of Hola Metaverso. I bought my first crypto, Tezos, because of him, heard him speak. I bought my first NFT, a dope one of his, because he does like photos and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it started, kids. It was a Twitter space led to a Google meeting, and Ozzie presented it. And I talk about, I remember Ozzie was in the Twitter space talking about this event, like this idea, and saying, I was like, oh, I don't know if he had it yet, if he had a deck. And I was like, yeah, I have a deck. And he's like, he was asking, how do I find my team? He was putting it out there, like, how do I find my team? And I remember I was saying, oh, you should put the deck together, have a meeting, potential people, and show them. And, if it's something that's, an idea you don't really want to get out there, have them sign an NDA, like all kinds of like that. So then fast forward, he asked if some of us wanted to meet up and help out. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know what made me join, and it made me go to this meeting. And I remember I was like, what happened to the ladies? Where are the ladies? How come I'm the only woman here? But I was like, okay, usually that's the case. So I was like, okay, let me just pay attention and hear him out. And he had this deck prepared, and I was super hyped that it wasn't going to be wasting our time. And he presented it. And I don't know the space. I'm super new to the space. So it's everyone's handles, right? Everyone's handles that he had as an like ideal list of panelists. And I was like, man, is this going to be all dudes? Then I'm out. It's all Latino dudes in here. Not to stereotype, but I was like, okay, I see it. It's going to be all dudes. They're going to be Latino tech bros. And if they have any inkling of having a woman on here, it's going to be the token, and like I just had all these preconceived notions, of how it was going to go down. But no, it wasn't. Ozzie was from jump calm, patient, inclusive, really passionate about his vision. And something in my gut said, shit, I'm busy as hell, and usually, if I'm into something, I'm into something 110%, and I want to be there and, come from organizing events, come from, helping doing artist relations and stuff at Coachella and different festivals. And so I'm in that, production mode, and I want to just get stuff done, and I want to get it done right. And I was like, I can't do that this time. So, but there was something in me that said, yes, my gut, and you got to listen to your gut, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll. And so far, if anything, I've been more and more impressed, because from jump, his vision has always included women, and not in a token way. It's been from jump. He wanted a woman keynote speaker. He wanted not just one, multiple women in all the panels. He wanted them to be at the forefront. It was respectful and so inclusive that I was like, all right, let's see how this rolls, right? And then he was telling me a little bit about his history, but I didn't know his full history until a couple of Twitter spaces ago, and talking to him at the meetings, and then really during this episode. So yeah, so here we are. I didn't know that much a couple months ago. Now I'm part of this amazing, small but fucking mighty team putting Hola Metaverso together. The lineup is crazy, and being new and not knowing who was who a couple months ago, and now seeing the impact of creating these spaces for, our communities, I see the importance. I see how everyone's been so nice, and everyone's about learning. And I have always talked about that I love data. I love collecting data. I love learning. I love always a student. And we try to instill that into the supernatural bear. Like, you learn until you day that you die, evolve or become extinct. So we're here, kids. And it's, when you guys hear this, it'll be, I think, 3 weeks out from the event. We break it down in the episode, what's included, how it started. You'll hear Ozzie's amazing story. You hear Tameron, who his name is Tamarin, but you hear he's the star that, came from Iowa and just really came in hot and put it down, and has been killing it out there for Hola Metaverso. So yeah, I think it's super important. I think you're going to love this story. If you come to the event, please let me know. There's definitely going to be a discount code. I'll have everything that we talk about in the show notes. And it'll be interesting to see when you hear what peanuts and watermelon have to do with Ozzie's story. And then don't forget, after that's the Supernatural Bear Corner, we're going to see what he thinks as at such a young age about Web3 and what's going down and what he sees his mama doing. Um, and then after that, it'll be an outro, and I'll be listing some of the panelists, but especially all the women panelists that we have, the dope women leaders that we have in that space that will be there, and hopefully more to come. I'm super excited about this. So yeah, let's get into it. Hola, fellas. Thank you so much for being here on Word to Your Mama. I wanted to start off by if you guys, so because it's two of you, if you guys could introduce yourselves so people get to know the voice and just say your name, what you do, and then we'll go to the next person. We'll start off like that.
Ozzy, you want to start it off?
Sure. My name is Ozzie. I am a media producer and an event producer. I worked for UCLA 9 years, and I left last year. Previously, I worked for different startups and different real estate companies. And last year, I left UCLA to explore this new Web3 space.
Dope.
Yeah, that's so dope. But I'm Tamarin. I currently work in a startup located in Iowa, a little bit different than most folks, I would imagine. But yeah, I kind of got, I guess they say red pilled or like crypto pilled, whatever you want to call it. And I've kind of been looking to find my way in ever since. So happy I was able to meet Ozzie and Ritzy in this journey.
Dope. Okay, so now you guys, who people that are listening, you guys got the voices. So now let's just start it off with how I always start. How are you guys doing? Just in general, with these interesting, crazy times, how are you guys doing?
That's a great question, Ritzy. I would say, just like both of you, I would say I'm busy. Like it's doing the regular stuff, but then also like throwing in everything else. But it's like good busy. Yeah. Like everything about it is fun. Like getting on Twitter to tweet about everything going on. Like it's just an amazing time to be in this whole metaverse world where I can make web friends and like not even meet them in real life and have it be like I have known them for years. So I would say I'm doing good, but I'm busy.
Nice. Ozzy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I was in Baja working and trying to enjoy myself with my family. My kids are on spring break. So ever since I left UCLA, I left UCLA. Another reasons I left UCLA is to take care of my mental health. And ever since I've tried to find balance, right? Making sure, even with this event, that is something that I'm truly enjoying. Anytime I get stressed out, I just think back about why I'm doing it. And also, again, trying to find that balance with my family. So I'm lucky and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do those two things, to be able to focus on something I enjoy doing and helping others, or trying to help others, and then, have some time to focus with my family as well.
Love that. And speaking of, so people know, I'm pretty sure that everyone's going to be listening to this because they want to listen to you guys and learn more about the event. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people about the event we're talking about here?
Sure.
Your baby.
Yeah, I'll go first. And, first, I think as I like to start in our Twitter spaces as well, is that, I would like to thank both of you first, for being part of this event, for believing this event, and for helping build this event. So this event idea started a while ago. I've been producing events since I was 16 years old, producing house parties, warehouse parties. And then I started working on producing kind of startup meetups, during the early 2000s. And then I started helping with DataCon LA, which is the largest data conference in LA at USC. And then while I was at UCLA, I helped produce the anniversary for the 50th anniversary of the internet, which was founded at UCLA. So I've had experience about producing events, and now that I'm a bit older, I asked myself, I kind of found why I enjoy putting events together, right? What is it? And then there's two big reasons, I would say. And one is getting the community together. I think as an immigrant child, as someone who didn't have much resources as a child and growing up, and then once you find, what I consider successful, and again, having the ability to work on what I want and having the ability to take care of my family, you always want to give back. You always want to give back to the community, bring the community together of some sort. So that's my passion about, these events. And then, fast forward to about 6 months ago, Twitter released a new feature, and that feature was called Twitter Spaces, that resembled a lot on that other platform, which I forgot, which is crazy. Clubhouse, was it? Yeah, right. Clubhouse. It's crazy. And I'm not doing this on purpose. I actually forgot, but Clubhouse brought the idea, and Twitter adopted that idea. And what I think that worked for Twitter is that there was a whole community waiting for this already, right?
Right.
So I've been on Twitter for 2009. Of course, I enjoy Twitter. For most of the time, I have my account private. I'm not one person to be very public about my profile. The only main reason I'm doing it is because I know that in order for a project or for a community to come together, you have to tell your story, right? I tell everyone that. So I think I began to tell my story as well. So Twitter Spaces came about, and we started forming spaces and building communities in these Twitter Spaces, right? I think that's how we all met. That's how I met, I would say, about 99% of the people that are involved in Hola Metaverso, everyone from the team to the speakers. So I put that together, and again, going back to my passion about getting the community together and really seeing an opportunity for us to continue building and growing right together as a community. And with that comes the other part that I enjoy, which is the media part, the websites, the videos, the graphics, the visuals, to bring all the community together. So that's the purpose of the event. It's really a community event to bring this Web3 community that was founded and built and continues to grow on Twitter, to bring them together in real life, right? IRL, to continue building and connecting with each other and growing in this space together. So that's the general overview about our Hola Metaverso event in LA.
And so what is the importance of it, besides the, bringing the community together? Like, why Web3? Why build a community around that?
Well, Web3 comes with two important factors that I think, and that is a financial part of things. And that financial part of things is connected with blockchain. So the blockchain has allowed us to, one, interact with each other financially in a different ways that weren't there before. So that is why one reason I think that we've connected with a lot of people in Latin America, because in some countries in Latin America, they are looking for alternatives, right? Alternative ways to investing, alternative ways of learning, alternative ways of making, your daily money, right? Income. So why is it important? I think the blockchain allows this new, what I would call, freedom to interact in financial systems that sometimes people weren't allowed to, right? For example, in El Salvador, now that Bitcoin is adopted, before, very low amount of people had bank accounts, right? So for financial systems they didn't have access to. Well, then now with adopting Bitcoin, it opens up a financial system immediately, and it allows you to interact with people all around the world, and brings all that. So that is one way I think that people are helping themselves. And I think it's a huge way that we can help others, right? And that's ultimately what this goes, the core of this is really, how can we help others understand these new financial systems, right? Understand how you can build your own businesses, your own brands, and not having connected to one central system, not connected to your PayPal, right? And they might shut you down. They're not connected to Visa or MasterCard systems that charge 5%, 10%, or other percentages, or they may not even offer those services in your country, right? So now people in Cuba, people in Venezuela, people in Mexico, people in Colombia and Argentina, there is, they can interact with each other. So it's opening up a new market. So again, the core of this is to inform people about this new systems, right? To let them know that these systems are coming, just like the internet came and it passed a few people, mainly low-income people. This event is really to bring the community of leaders together, and then by streaming it online, you are amplifying it to everyone who needs to learn about it and educate themselves. And it's really about helping those people educate themselves about these new financial systems and how they can be a part of them.
Ozzie, you mentioned how like being able to connect country to country, which I think is an amazing thing that we are all doing. Obviously, all of us Latino, Latina, is a great thing that we all focus on. But then also the other side of it, when you're not thinking of like how we work towards like the new generation of wire transfers, is like, I know it's a huge presence, at least on my Twitter feed, of like Ish talking about he staked a ton of like ETH and how he's like receiving a massive return. So like actually the financial return side of this financial system that's getting created is something that that I know Ozzie's like focusing on, we're all focusing on, is how do we as a people like lead this path forward to like making sure everyone's educated in this sort of process and not being left behind in the next. So with staking NFTs and actually treating it as an investment arm, I know that that's a major focus of ours as well within the whole Web3 space and why we think it's important.
And so what really impressed me, and if anyone listened to the intro, I was really impressed. And the reason why I was trusting my gut, and I was like, I'm going to ride with this dude. We never met, right? None of us, all three of us, never met. It was because from jump, women were a very important part of your vision. And I wanted to find out, and then after this, we'll get into why Tameron is, how he got involved. But I wanted to find out, I was very impressed by that because I was going into this thinking like, these are going to be just some Latino tech bros, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing a courtesy. I'm going to listen to it and that's it. Like, and I'm out. I'm probably going to be out. But you from jump, you know, from that first presentation, right, Tameron, it was like women were always an equal part. Now let's just have some token women up in here. It was always equal part of your visions. Where does that stem from? From jump. Where does that stem? Where does that come from?
It really comes down to inclusion. You know, I think that is on top of my list because there has been some times where me personally, you know, you haven't been included, right? And we see that more with women, right? Where you know we look around and it's all guys, right? So I think in my belief and what I believe and how I approach this is really about it being inclusive, right? And that's really what it came down to. I think once again you're not included in something and you see how you're not included in something, then you don't want to be there, right? You want to make sure that everyone is included. And another reason too is you know, we see you mentioned the word tech bros, but we see all these conferences and you look at the panels, right? And we're looking for someone that looks like us, that their name resembles like us. Even in the middle of LA, where 50% of the population is Latino, you know, we're not being included, right? As a group, as individuals, as women, as male Latinos, we are not being included. And not, no, that's not an opinion. You know, I would ask anyone to go to any large conference and look at the speakers, right? And you know, it's nothing against them. So it's about creating a space where all people are included, and you know, the women just as the men are in front of that line as well. So that's where it stems from.
I love that. Now going to Tameron, like that's how I'm gonna say your name from now on. Why are you here? Why are you rolling with Ozzie? Like, why are you here?
Ritzy, my story is very similar to yours, where it's like I'm just meeting this guy on Twitter Spaces. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna see what he has to say. But then it was like hearing what he's talking about. And I mean, we all touch on it. Like, I'm a very pale individual. I'm half white. My skin's very white, but it's like I really, really identify as being a Latino. I love Latino people. I really love being around them. But then also I love the city of LA. So the fact that we're doing this right in the heart of LA is like, okay, I'm knees deep in this. Like, it doesn't matter what you need, I'm here.
He's wearing a Raiders hat right now, peeps, because you won't be able to see this. I think you're wearing a Born and Raised shirt.
Soul Assassins, yes, I mean,
I am. Like, he's repping full blown.
But yeah, so I'm like, everything about me, I try to make it LA. Like, I love the city, but then also I'm trying, like, we already touched on it, but I'm trying to uplift people ultimately. So doing that in Web3, like, this really felt like the perfect event. And I mean, I was on a space earlier today talking with some folks that I hope we touch on later. Like, just doing an event with Ozzie, like, the guy has the experience behind him, and he has, like Ritzy already touched on, he has the mission and like the focus of making this an inclusive event. So once you like put all these things together, it's like, okay, I'm knees deep. I'm doing this. Like, whatever you need, I'm here.
LGBTQIA plus families have unique strengths and experience distinct challenges. At Pacific Oaks College in Pasadena, experience an education that will prepare you to support this community. The Masters in Marriage and Family Therapy LGBTQIA plus Studies program will train you to work with communities from any background while providing affirmative therapy to LGBTQIA plus individuals. Pacific Oaks College, experience that impacts community. Learn more at pacificoaks.edu. And Tameron, like it's a team effort, and Ozzie's really patient and really inclusive and always gives shine to everyone, and I love that about him. But Tameron came hot. And he's like the super duper. I love him. We had a whole conversation. You remind me of me when I was your age. It's amazing to see. And I know probably Ozzie, you're so, happy that he's part of the team because he's a major, your right hand person. But let's get into, tell people, whoever, take turns, whatever, more about the event. Tell them about these amazing, I'm new to the world, but now that I'm a couple of months in, I see the level of leadership that you guys have locked down for this event. Tell a little bit, people, about how the day is going to go, what's included, who's going to be there so far, all that good stuff.
I will start on this just because I want to give Ozzie his flowers here. This guy has connected with some amazing people across. We have Pablo coming in from the Dominican, people that are not even in the US. It's just crazy the amount of people that he's able to pull from all across. I know Ozzie mentioned inclusion. Something big for me, given I'm 23, is people kind of sleep on Gen Z. So we got the learners guys from just south of the Bay, coming down. So it means a lot to me seeing those guys come. But yeah, Ozzie's done an amazing job setting these people up. We have everyone from all sorts of arrays of expertise. So I'll let Ozzie cover what these people do, who they are, and why they're so important to building that community.
Yeah. I really, what I'm doing and what we're all doing, right? And especially, Tamarin, again, what you just mentioned, Ritzy, is we're really reaching out to this community, right? So that's really how I see it. And there's, of course, we identify leaders and, their leadership traits, right? They're inclusive, they're friendly, they're collaborative. They're very smart people. So that's really where I started is within the same community, right? So it's funny because sometimes I mentioned, to a new speaker, okay, we're going to have Orlando for Web3 Familia. And they're like, oh my God, I follow Orlando. And and they go on about how they feel connected to them already. Or, even Laura, right? Laura is a very influential person. She's one of the leaders that I consider in this space. A similar idea, right? So I just reached out to that community. Our two hosts that are going to host the event are actually two of the most influential people that do Twitter Spaces. So it made sense for me to reach out to them and ask them to be host. And one thing, I think that validates all this for me is that I think everyone we've reached out to at some capacity has agreed to be part of this event, or if they're not able to because of other commitments, but they're all kind of on board. And as far as the day, I think I'll go into really quick as far as what the day will look like. A big part of it is going to be learning, and by learning, we have set up a few panels that will cover these areas in Web3. One panel being blockchain and Web3, the other being legal, tax, and DeFi, another one being education and community, the other one about NFTs. And I think I'm missing one more. We're also having a project showcase to showcase Web3 projects. And all these panels and project showcase are all opportunities for us to learn, right? We have a panel of 4 attorneys coming from across the world, right? 2 women and 2 males. And we have an opportunity to sit down with them intimately with us. This isn't a large conference, as I like to say, it's a community event, and ask our questions, right? Ask our concerns. The same thing with blockchain, that same opportunity. So that's the learning part of it. And then we have a networking part of the event, which again, that's where we'll kind of finish the day learning. We'll loosen up a little bit. We'll have a networking and music and food and drinks and kind of get to know each other and probably take a lot of pictures. So the day really is those two core parts, is the learning part and the connecting part, right? Which I think is the same, a similar aspect that takes on the Twitter spaces, right? We're getting to know each other, and then we're getting to share each other's stories, and we learn. I think I'm trying to replicate that same format as much as possible in real life, where it's a friendly environment. It's going to be both English and Spanish. There's a large audience in LA that speaks Spanish, and online as well. There's no hard set rules, but if someone needs translation, they can raise their hand. We're going to incentivize people connecting with each other. So if you don't know English, if you don't know Spanish, if you know Spanish and English, sit down next to someone that only knows Spanish. So you can, one, get to meet them, and two, be helpful if they don't understand something, if they have a question, and so on. So that's what you expect at the event. It's at a movie studio here in LA. It's owned by two a Latino couple. It's a very creative space, so we're going to try to get creative with it. We're going to have NFT artwork, an NFT art gallery of about 20 different artists from around the world that we're going to showcase their art. We're going to have tacos to eat. We're going to have snacks to eat. And of course, we have a tequila sponsor that's going to provide. We're going to have prizes for some of the educational learning kind of activities that we're going to do. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what the day will look like.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw in my tagline that I always include in every email and Twitter DM, because I feel like I DM more than what I email nowadays. Right. Is that I like to say that we are educating our people, showcasing our builders, and growing our community. And that is a very diverse community at that. And we've already touched on that. Ozzie's touched on it. Ritzy's touched on it. And I think that that's the biggest thing, is that we're trying to make sure everyone gets their flowers, but then we're opening the door to people that want to learn. Like, this is an event not for people that are, like we've already touched on, like the huge crypto bro. Like, people can walk in being as smart as the next $1 billion CEO, or walking in completely wet behind the ears like I am to this event. And
we're levels here, guys. Like, Ozzie's been doing this for a while. You probably know a little bit more than me. I know I'm just learning. It's been months and I've learned so much. So I can't imagine what I'm going to be able to learn, what the world's going to be able to learn from this event. And let's make sure, for people that are new to this, it's not a conference. Ozzie, make sure to mention this is a community building event. The max, the capacity here is 250 peeps. Yep. That's it. Because he's really trying to recreate an intimate gathering for some quality building. And I think that's what's important. I think that's what sets you apart. Because we've all gone to conferences for all our different industries. And when it's a group of people, it's tough to get that one-on-one time and to get that real connection. Like, you got to work hella hard. And so I'm super excited about this event. So let's get into special feature here on Word to Your Mama, the questions and comments from the audience. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Okay. A question for Ozzie, a question for Tameron. First question for Ozzie. How old were you when you got your first quote unquote official job, and what was it? And then Tameron, have you always been into fitness? If not, what was the trigger? And both questions are from Cain, co-founder of Latinoverse.
What's up, Cain?
All right, Ozzie, I'll let you go first, man.
You know what? So you said official, so I don't know. I was born in Mexico, so I actually started working around 5 or 6 years old. I was working in the fields in Mexico. As a kid, it was it was great because you got to have money. So I started picking peanuts and watermelons. So that was as a kid all the way probably till from 5 to 8 years old when I came to the U.S. And after I came to the U.S., my first job was washing cars. And I was a gardener when I was 14 to 16. And then I was a dishwasher. And then once I was 17, 18, I actually got an internship at a law firm, which was, someone that I knew.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I
love it.
Someone that I knew, needed a clerk to check mail, input time, and all that. And So that was, I would say, my first official kind of job that, that was on the serious kind of side. And I learned a lot. I read every letter that came in. I was responsible for mail. So I didn't just send the mail out. I read every deposition. I wrote every letter. I read every agreement. I read, everything that came through the mailroom, I read. And I was also in charge of billing hours. So I got familiarized myself with their finances, as far as, what was going in, the bill rates, the financing and all that. And I also saw the bills. So being in the mailroom, it's weird because I learned, it was a lesson for me. But shortly after that, when I was 18, 19, I got rejected from UCLA, which was cool because I still liked getting that letter, although, I applied. And then I got accepted to Cal Poly Pomona. I didn't really know how to go about going to college at the time. So I didn't go, but at that same time, I was the internet came about. And, I like to say sometimes that the internet saved my life because I was in a position where I wasn't sure what to do. I don't know how to go to college, even though I got accepted, and I just went really deep online. I went to a graphic arts trade school. And then I started working for Edmunds.com, which was an internet company. And from there, I started working different, as a web graphic designer, all the way to, digital media director at UCLA. So I hope that answers your question.
That's amazing. See, this is why I do this, kids. This is why I do this. When are we gonna have that conversation, Ozzy? Like, where you're gonna tell us all this? Like, I love this. Like, your first official job was when you were in the field. That's official.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was a couple of pesos that allowed me to buy, some snacks and pretty much that.
Amazing story. You go from doing that to your vision coming to life on April 30th. This is, I love this shit. Okay, Tameron, have you always been into fitness? And if not, what was your trigger?
Yeah, I feel like growing up, especially where I grew up, every kid grows up wanting to be a football player. So,
Iowa.
Yeah, for real. We're all relatively big people over here. So my dad got me my first weight set when I was 11. And haven't looked back ever since. I would like to say, just like the internet saved Ozzie's life, lifting saved mine. So a little bit on the same boat, but different side, different muscles.
Yeah.
Love it. And gracias to Cain for the question. Latino verse. I'll have links to everything we've talked about here, kids, in the show notes. To the event, the discount codes, to everyone that's asked a question. The next question, and whoever wants to take this, there's two. How do you view the future of blockchain technology in different industries in the next decade? And then also, how do in real life events help curate those changes? And this is by Luis, co-founder of Learn. He's my nephew because we have a Hollister connection. So from now on, it's just my nephew. So my nephew asked that question. He is amazing. We were just talking about him before this. He's going to be at the event. I'm super excited to meet him. He's been someone in this space, Tameron and I were just talking about, that has been genuine from jump. He's very patient and has a gift of breaking things down so that anyone and any level can learn.
Ozzie, I think I'll let you take the first part of that. But before you start, I want to just go in and talk about how great of a person Luis is for a second. That man, like, I haven't met this guy, but I feel like I've known him forever. Everything he says is just like gold. Like, I could get that taken, like put that in a book. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, that guy is just gold to society, to the world. And like he says, everyone's family. And that's the best part about this event. It's like, you pull up on a Twitter space with us, it literally feels like everyone's family. Mm-hmm. And it just feels great. So Luis brings that energy every time. Yeah. But Ozzie, I'll let you go into the question.
The future of blockchain, is that the one I'm answering?
Yeah, the future of blockchain technology in different industries in the next decade.
I think for me, again, this whole blockchain technology and, being able to log into systems with your own wallet without, registering somewhere, right? And then the financial aspect of it, it really becomes about inclusion and owning. So in different industries, I think there's going to be different communities building their own businesses and their own communities, right? I mean, the biggest brand I can think of right now, as far as in the space, is Board 8 Yacht Club, which is the biggest NFT project. So one of their NFTs on average is worth about, I believe, 300,000 at the time. So that's what will allow, but I think in a more wide scale, right? It's not going to be only for, Web2 was for startups, right? And then you looked at the two co-founders, and one of them probably had to go to Stanford, and maybe the other one from MIT, or maybe one from Yale, or even have some type of affiliation to one of those networks. Not no more, right? Now, just like we're building a community, it's going to amplify to different ways, right? There's ways that we can affect different industries as communities. One of them is like the life insurance industry, right? The insurance industry, how now there can be new financial systems that we own that aren't necessarily in a centralized like insurance company, right? Maybe there will be communities that will be formed to create some form of insurance companies, right? Or insurance DAOs or insurance communities that we own, or that we are able to participate in them without, having a insurance kind of a centralized system. So I think generally it will include more people, it include more countries, more communities. It gives access to more of them, and then communities will begin, as we are now, to develop new brands, new projects, and new opportunities for their own community. So those are, I would say, the top two things.
Nice. Anything you want to chime in on that one, or do you want to go to the next question?
I just think what Ozzie hit on there is amazing, and that's actually what brought me into Web3 was DAOs specifically, because I didn't really believe in the whole NFT thing, but DAOs and the idea of ownership and organizing a group of people, like that is what brought me in. So I just wanted to tack on that to what Ozzie said. But for the next question of like what the importance of in real life events into Web3 is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ritzy, that was a question.
It's how do in real life events help curate those changes that he spoke about?
Okay, yeah. I think in real life events, like we've all lived this whole Web3 world since COVID started, of like we play in this space, and like it's a good way to start relationships. You can build amazing sort of relationships and meet these people, whatever. But I think that it bridges the gap in like when you get these in real life events where you can actually like sit down. I know the first time meeting Ozzie and Chaco and other members of the team, we sat down and it was like, oh wow, like we're actually here. Like it was, you actually feel like a different sort of energy because we spent these 2 months talking back and forth into these events. So it makes that relationship just feel that much more powerful. And I mean, this question's from Luis. So I know that time at Hola, the first time I get to see like Luis, is literally just going to be some sort of bond. Like I said, like I've known this guy forever, and it feels like that much more of a real life event, and like that relationship just feels that much more real versus like just having it sort of in a virtual capacity.
Yeah, it seems like it's being in the desert from LA, things move differently, and it's like a small town. And so far, being new into this space, that kind of has the same feeling. Like you're in these Twitter spaces, so it's you're DMing people and you're making relationships, but you're building the relationships in these virtual spaces, and then you take it to the next level with like Hola Metaverso with in person. So you just strengthen those bonds, and you grow together, and you do business together, and you help each other out. It's like that. It takes a village mentality, and I really love that. And it's kind of surprising. Do you know what I'm saying? Someone new going into the scene, I was like, I'm going to be left in the dust here. Like, I don't know. But no, everyone's been like, reaching back up for me and everyone else. And I see it and I love it. And I'm kind of, to be 100% real, I'm kind of skeptical. Like, when am I gonna get fucked? when am I gonna get when is someone gonna be like shitty as shit to me? But going back to what you said, Tameron, and I said it in the intro, is that's my reason. I mentioned my friends that did amazing stuff, and my first intro to a lot of people's first intro to Web3 is hearing about NFTs, especially if you're a creative. But when I listened to the one, I have a link to the episode. with Tim Ferriss, and I was like, who are these people? And when they started talking about the DAO and the potential, and I saw the potential of how that could really help marginalized communities in a whole nother way, that's what got me excited. And I was like, I want to in. And then Twitter space, and then now we're here, and then see everybody on April 30th. It's crazy.
I like to add about the value of in real life events. Really, this comes down to relationships, right? Business relationships, and there's Web3 community relationships, and for any relationship, whether it's your friend, your kids, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner. You think of how you can build that relationship, right? So if you're on the phone all the time, which is comparable to, say, Twitter Spaces, right? You can only build that relationship so much, right? You don't see their expressions, but or your kids, right? You can call them all you want, but the day you visit them at the house and say, hey, we're going to the park, then that relationship grows that much. And then if you say, hey, I know you wanted to fix your bike. Well, guess what? I have, your first $10 to help your bike, and I'm going to take you to the shop. So that will increase that relationship, right? All these activities, all these bonds that you do are going to increase that bond, that relationship genuinely, right? So it's very similar to real life events, right? We've been building relationships over the phone for the last 5 or 6 months. And all of a sudden we're like, hey, how about we meet, right? How about we meet and we go to the park and have a discussion about what we've been discussing all this time, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about blockchain. We're going to talk about DAOs. We might have a drink after, we'll listen to some music. We'll eat some food. So it's the same thing. We're going on an outing, right? On an event, we're getting together. So those relationships, I'm betting, right? And I know that are going to be that much stronger, right? After this event, right? So that's really what I say was the value of that there's different levels of relationship building, and these in real life events will double that relationship, will increase that relationship between you, the community, the Luis Faustos, the Ish Verduzcos, ourselves, right? I've had the pleasure to meet Tamarin, but I've not had the pleasure to meet Ritzy. But if we can build this much online for these few months, once I get to interact with Ritzy, hear her stories, hear her jokes, hear her passion, in a personal way, I'm sure, these relationships are going to grow. So I would add that to the value of these inner life events.
Yeah, it's strengthening. It's just strengthening, like you said. 100%. It's taking the next level and strengthening and make it, and also seeing are you just talking the talk or are you walking the walk? It's time to show and prove. The vibe that I sensed, what if we meet Luis and he's not about that, which I'm sure he's totally about it. But do you
watch your mouth, Ritzy.
Hush your mouth. So you know what I mean? It's time to show and prove and make, and just to secure and strengthen that what my gut was saying about you guys and everyone else that we met is solid. That it's solid and it's okay. Let's move forward and let's, like you said, let's keep moving, keep building. Okay, so like I said, we'll have all the links to everything, at the end after the Supernatural Bear Corner. I'll wrap it up and I'll mention all the guests, but also the dope women that are being represented. But let's have some fun and let's get into not so rapid fire questions, the AKA slow as hell questions. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'll just go like boom, boom, I'll just go like that. So the first one is, let's go. Tameron, you go first. And then you go 3 words to describe yourself.
3 words to describe myself. I would say introverted, passionate, and curious.
Ozzie?
I would say I believe I'm a very caring person. I think I care a whole lot for my family. I care a whole lot for my friends. So I would say caring is on top of it. I am as well curious, which it goes back to learning, I think. So I'm always for learning. Learning is a big part of what I enjoy doing. And I'm not sure what the word is, but I can think of it as nature. I'm very connected to nature. I like being around nature. So I'm not sure if that counts, but I'll throw that in there.
No, that counts. That counts. Okay, the next one. Ozzie, you go first with this one. What's the best piece of advice you've received?
The best piece of advice I've received, I've learned, and I also, pass it on to my kids is I tell them all the time, you have to find what you love to do, right? You have to find that passion that you have. You have to find what you enjoy to do, and really become an expert at it as much as you can, and try to figure out a way how to make money with that passion, right? I think for a long time, or there's been a period where people were kind of just working the 9 to 5, and I'm sure some people still are, and not everyone has that opportunity to choose. But if you do, or you can work your way up to that, is to find really what you love to do, build on top of that, and help other people along the way.
Love that. Tameron?
Yeah, Ozzy, that's actually amazing. I think I'm still trying to figure out how to do that right now. So I love to hear that. That's advice for me. That's advice for me. But I think for me, I don't know who the hell said it, but it's get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's something I've really had to do within the last year especially within like the last 2 years with COVID and everything, in like taking these sorts of Zoom calls with random people I've never met before, and like getting used to talking to them, and actually trusting them, like believing that they're genuine people and like behind these screens. And I feel like that's something that I've had to grow with, being uncomfortable. And like I said, I'm an introvert. Like I am 100%, like not 100, like not the most outgoing person in the world.
You would never know.
I wouldn't even guess sometimes, but no, for real, it's like I've really had to like step out of my comfort zone to be able to have these conversations. And I like to think I'm a cheerleader for a lot of different people. So it's like me being that cheerleader is me stepping out of my comfort zone, which is something I love to do. So that's what it is I've been comfortable being uncomfortable. It's been a growing process.
Love it. Love to hear it. Okay. The next one I'm pretty excited about. It's always one of my favorites. Tameron, you go first. What is the song that you play when you need to get hyped?
Shit. Last time that I checked, by Nipsey Hussle.
Yes!
Every time. I just went to an art show this last week. I bought a Nipsey Hussle painting. It's last time that I checked, no doubt.
Dope. R.I.P. It was just, what was it, last week? It was the anniversary of his passing, same day as Selena. I'm repping with my shirt. They passed on the same, amazing people passed on the same day. Not a coincidence. Okay, Ozzy, what's your song? Your hype song?
I don't have to get working, working. I think I as you both know, I am a friend and a big fan of the Psycho Realm. So I need to get going. I put my Psycho Realm playlist, put my headphones on, and speed through, work, and it really pumps me up. So I would say that's my playlist.
But what's like one of their tracks? It's like your go-to. If you can only pick one.
I would say The Killing Fields by the Psycho Realm.
Dope. Okay, so please, as always, please remember these songs are going to be added to the Word to Your Mama podcast guest playlist. It runs the gamut, kids. It's amazing because we all got hype songs for different occasions, right? Yeah, so sometimes, for different types of what kind of hyped, So, but I love this. It's super eclectic. I got some young folks in the same, age bracket as you, Tameron, and then our thing and everything in between, a little bit older. So the playlist is crazy. It's amazing. Okay, final question. Let's go with Tameron again, and then we'll end it up with Ozzy to wrap it all up. What will be your legacy?
That's a great question. I hope is kind of like what I alluded to already, is I hope people view me as like the biggest cheerleader that they can find. I'm here to build the community. I don't care what community it is that I'm in at that time. I'm here to help people grow. I don't know if I mentioned it during the pod or if it was before the pod, but my goal is to be in VC. And what that means to me is to be able to help people, predominantly marginalized people, be able to grow, create wealth, create opportunity, and just be great. So I hope that is my legacy someday, is being the cheerleader for the people.
Dope, Tameron. And then you, Ozzy?
I think for me, it goes back to helping people. So if I can help as many people as possible, and people, I don't necessarily want, feel or have the need to be remembered. But if there was something that was to, follow me, I would say that I hope that people remember for helping other people, and that's because that's really what I aim to do.
Amazing. Fellas, muchísimas gracias. I'm super excited to meet you in real life. I'm the only one. Like I was telling my husband, I was like, yeah, I go, homeboy came from Iowa and I'm just 2 hours away and I couldn't make it. Like it was busy, but I'm super excited to meet you guys. I'm super excited to meet everybody at Hola Metaverso. And what kind of people should come to this event? Do you got to be an expert in Web3?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Hell no.
I think anyone who is interested in learning about this new Web3 space, and anyone who is interested in learning about this community and being part of this community, there is no gatekeeping, there is no approval. As we were all welcomed, everyone is going to be welcomed the same way. So it's really for everyone who has interest, whether you're 15 years old, whether you're 70 years old, 30 years old, you come with your married couple, or you come with your friend from high school, and you guys are just learning. It's really for everyone, again, who has interest in this space and interest in this community.
Black, white, every color, everyone's welcome. This is a community building, diverse. The more perspectives, the better. Like we're here to actually grow something for everyone.
And so let people know again, how much are the tickets, what the discount code is, and how much it is if they want to stream it.
Yeah, so the tickets are available at holametaverso.io, or you can follow our account on Twitter. Our screen name is Hola Metaverso. That's HOLA, Metaverso with an O. The tickets are $150, and we're having a 15% early bird discount, which gives you 15% off, and that's the code is LA 2022. You can enter that, and you will get 15% off. If you do want to attend and need help, for whatever reason, feel free to DM us and let us know your situation. You don't have to go into details, but just let us know if you can, access this event. Again, it's about inclusivity. So let us know if you need help with that. And that's the price.
And to stream,
actually, it'll be completely free.
Exactly.
So not to attend the event, we'll let we're going to share. A big effort that we're putting into is making sure that we stream this event, that anyone that wants to access this information can. But again, the value of attending this event is again getting to know each other in real life and building these communities and relationships over making them stronger. So a live stream though will be completely free and accessible to everyone.
So say I bought a ticket and I'm going to go to this event and I'm going to listen and I'm going to get all the, am I using this correctly? You guys are probably like nerds. Alpha? Is that how you like?
Alpha.
That's right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, guys. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. So I'm learning all this stuff, right? But then I get a little hungry. Do I got to come with money, or is that included in the ticket?
No, that's included in the ticket. Actually, we're going to have, of course, LA demand as soon our team and pretty much everyone we'll talk to. I think we definitely have to have tacos. So we're having a taco. All you can eat tacos. We're having aguas frescas. We're having snacks, and that's all included with a ticket. Also included with a ticket is a T-shirt that Tamarin is helping us put it together. You also will get an NFT.
What?
A little robot that is a little mascot, and working on creating NFTs for all of our attendees. A couple of those NFTs will be rare enough where that will give you access to any of our future events. And maybe one or two of those NFTs will come included with a free iPad. So those are an example, just to give the audience an example of how NFTs can be used. If you don't have an NFT during this event, you will have one. If you don't know how to use an NFT, there will be 200 of us to show you how to install your wallet, how to get your NFT, and how to participate. So that's that.
Awesome. Anything you want to add to that, Tameron?
Something that Ozzie did not mention was our homie Big Brown is a sponsor, a coffee sponsor. He's the reason why we all met. Got to make sure you give people their flowers. Big Brown Mestizo Coffee will be there, present and accounted for. So got to make sure to show him love when we can.
For sure. I definitely mentioned him in the intro because he's the genesis of, it was his Twitter space that we all met. And the fact that he, people starting off the event with, un cafecito from Mestizo Coffee is full circle. It's amazing. Okay, guys, muchísimas gracias. I'll have the links to everything. Everyone we talked about, the amazing people that took the time to ask the questions, people from the community. I mean, it's all love, and I'm super excited. Ozzie, Tameron, thank you so much for letting me be part of this. I'm super excited. Let's just build.
Let's build.
Yeah, thank you, Ritzy. Thank you for the space. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your leadership as well. It's all very helpful, and we're glad you're part of our community. And I can't wait to meet you and continue building with you.
Awesome. Get ready. I'm going to squeeze you guys real hard. And now introducing
the Supernatural Bear Corner. Supernatural Bear.
Hello everyone, I am the Supernatural Bear, and today for the Supernatural Bear Corner, we will, sad music please. Okay, thank you. Thank you, post-editing mama. So, unfortunately, I have recently been informed that, a couple of you probably went to school. Like, a lot of you probably went to school. But some people didn't even go to school. Like, they didn't have the money, and to make money when they were like 4 or 5, they had to carry things like half their size at least, and half their weight at least. Those things were watermelons. And yes, that technically was child labor. And it's very sad. But thankfully, happy music, please. Thank you. Hola Metaverso, and Web3 are trying to fix that and, give a lot more representation to, brown and black communities and represent them a lot more. And I just love that. Being a kid of color, I mean, I was born.
Do you represent?
I represent the Asian community, the black community, the Mexican community, probably a whole bunch of others that I don't even know about. Because blood tests, you're some of everything. But, I just think it's really cool that Hola Metaverso and Web3 are doing something like that. So go check them out, show some support, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Stop the music, please. Thank you. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for, supporting the community. And I would also like to thank, all you listeners out there, you amazing people listening to the podcast. It is amazing. You guys are helping us out a lot, especially our Patreons, sponsors, and all that cool stuff. And just thank you. Thank you so much. And for everyone else as well, thank you as well. So, yeah, this has been the SMB.
Shibadoo. Yeah. There you have it, folks. Episode 74. I told you, an amazing story. Just his personal story. And it makes sense, right? That's the root. That's why he's so inclusive. You could go two ways. If you come from an experience like that, you can come out saying like, fuck this and fuck everyone else. I'm going to go for mine because I, have all this crazy experience and I'm just going to be all about the money and make sure I'm good. Fuck everybody else. But no, or you can go the opposite way, which is Ozzie's way of remembering what that felt like, seeing how far he's come, and, creating spaces so that it could uplift his people. It's a beautiful thing. That's why I'm rolling. Hopefully some of you make it out to Hola Metaverso Or if you can't, like we mentioned, it's going to be streamed for free worldwide. So wherever you're listening from, if you can't make it out, boom, get that information, learn, see if there's something you want to learn more about. Also, I want to mention one of the speakers is from Web3 Familia, and their mission is to onboard 1 million plus Latinos and Latinas onto Web3. Very educational, very inclusive. Everyone that's on the panel that we've talked about have been very gracious, very humble, and are all about helping to educate and build community, especially in the Latino, Latinx, Latina spaces. So I think it's very important. And as promised, we have a lot of speakers. You can go to the website. It's going to be in the show notes. But let me highlight some of the women, some of the dope, amazing women leaders in this space that have so graciously agreed to be part of Hola Metaverso. We have Liz Bazurto. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. She's from Coinbase. We got Ileana Torres from Web3 Lawyers. We got Rian Sanchez, the co-founder of Latino Society. We also have Fanny Grande. She is a co-owner of Avenida Studios, where they're hosting this crazy, amazing community building event. So if you're going out, please reach out. Come up. I would love to meet you. Let's build together. Let's create some more inclusive spaces, for different speeds. And one thing I'm not sure if I mentioned is just like, how do I, get into this space in a way that aligns? And it's different for everybody, If you're in it for a money grab, yeah, sure. There's points of entry for that. But if you're in there to build community and to help others, I think there's definitely entryways that way. So, muchísimas gracias for listening and for supporting this amazing podcast. It's amazing because I have such a good time doing this, building with my amazing tribe, right? That are from different walks of life, learning and sharing their stories and the universal and the specific. Also, if there's different ways to support, there's free ways to support. You could tell your folks, tell your peeps, tell your friends. Especially with this episode, I'm going to have probably significantly more links than usual. Go support everybody, Mestizo Coffee, all of them. Go support, click on all those links. And also, just a reminder, we are part of the Latina Podcasters Network. That is correct. So check out anyone else that's on the roster. There's also Latino pods. And it's been great so far. It's only been like a month or 2 months being a part of that network and what Rita is building with that and helping independent podcasters such as myself, get advertising money, but also more importantly than that, I get it out to as many people as possible because we need more representation in this space. So, feel free to donate, buy us a whiskey via buy us a coffee. There's also, you become a patron on Patreon. There's a link to that we also have a web store, including some enamel pins that the Supernatural Bear made when he was 7 of Voltron. Some dope pins, enamel pins. So there's different ways to support. And leave some star reviews if you're so inclined, and I'll read them on the next episodes. And just spread the word. I really appreciate it. And as always, we reap. Word to Your Mama is owned and produced by Ritzy. Intro beat produced by Nico Beats. If you want to know anything about Word to Your Mama, including Media Kit, go to wordtoyourmama.com. And as always, Word to Your Mama is brought to you by ritzyperiwinkle.com.